No, I didn't think you would be, so I've done one piece less than thinking you wouldn't be interested. Jenny says she's listening. Yeah, so hopefully that goes okay tomorrow. But I've contacted the manager of Sainsbury's at Crystal Peaks, and he's letting us use their cafe for free as a meeting area from next week until towards the end of September, when the cafe is due to be reopening. But after that time, there is a staff room that is quite sizable. I went up to have a look at it, and providing we all agree and we're all happy with that, we can use the large meeting room at Sainsbury's for free as well. But we can talk a bit about that tomorrow, perhaps, about what the future and the next few months hold. Matt Pennington, who's new to Sporting Memory. Sorry, Keith. Yeah.
Just to clarify, it's on a Wednesday, the meeting at Sainsbury's, isn't it?
Yeah. The meeting at Sainsbury's is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. You didn't mention. You mentioned, but you said there were a meeting at Sainsbury's, but didn't say which day.
I didn't. That's true. And it's due to be sort of 10 till 12 at Sainsbury's on Wednesday. But it's up to us. We'll have a chat about it tomorrow. What?
What time are we starting tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
Yeah, what time are we starting tomorrow?
10 o'clock kick-off, finish at quarter to 12. 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's important that we do follow social distancing and we do use the gels and we don't mill about. And I've got some spare masks should people want to use them. So we'll see how it goes, but just take it steady. Matt Pennington. Sorry, what?
You know the masks? Do you have to wear them actually in the meeting itself or just going in and coming out?
No, it's entirely up to you. I mean, we can't really have a proper meeting if everybody's wearing masks. There'll be cake and there'll be biscuits and there'll be tea and coffee. So, as if you were in a cafe, you can't wear the masks and drink and eat, can you? Which is what?
When I was at Cineworld yesterday, a couple of women took flasks because it meant they could actually take the masks off.
Oh, well, we haven't got flasks.
No, I know, but what I'm saying
It's going sass now.
So, the masks are available.
We still love you, Jenny.
Your big girl's blouse, Paul. Anyway, the masks will be available.
Keep it sweet. We need the cake.
Yeah, the cake's made. The masks will be available anyway. I'll leave it up to you whether you use them. It's up to how comfortable people feel. If people are feeling uncomfortable, then we'll have to do something about it. We've got to be sensible about it. We've got to follow the COVID guidelines. Masks aren't normally required in the situation that we'll be in. But if you want to wear your mask and take it off when you talk, which will be incessantly long, won't it? Then it's up to you.
I'm going to earn in, John, when you're there.
Well, it does happen to be my little bit of programme that I can't get a word in. Anyway, Matt Pennington, who's the new head of the North in Sporting Memories terms, but he's only doing 1 day a week at the moment. He was in touch with me yesterday. He's going to be letting us have the Sporting Pinks run with the quizzes in.
Yeah.
Which I doubt you've been getting during lockdown, have you? Nobody's been forwarded.
I haven't. No, I've got plenty of them, but I haven't been getting them.
Yeah, and he wants to be involved with us more than they've been, they haven't been really for the last 2 or 3 years, which is fine as long as they don't interfere, and they might give us some money. But we'll see how that pans out. So that's about it, really, Keith.
Yeah.
So good luck tomorrow.
As regards Matt Pennington, maybe he ought to join one of our Zoom meetings one week.
Yeah, I'll invite him. As at the moment, he's only doing 1 day a week, so yeah, we'll see. I'll invite him.
Yeah, fine. All right, so thanks, John, and we'll move swiftly on to Lol's News of the Week. I ought to
bore you to death again.
Inter.
Pardon?
I ought to have some music ready for
Oh,
long.
yeah.
News of the week. News of the week. Paul's news of the week. News of the week.
Okay, then. We begin with a true story about water sports coming out of America. The US government has proposed changing the definition of a shower head to allow increased water flow following complaints from President Donald Trump about his hair washing routine. Under a 1992 law, shower heads in the United States are not allowed to produce more than 2.5 gallons of water per minute. The Trump administration wants this limit to apply to each nozzle rather than the overall fixture. Blimey, how much water does he need to wash his hair? Did anybody see it, by the way, on the news? That item?
No.
I read
Look, it can only happen to him, can't it?
Well, don't he wash his hair in sink?
Niagara Falls.
Yeah,
I think.
that's
I still get bathed in sink.
So nip onto horse racing now then. Now a 3-year-old colt called He Knows No Fear became the longest prized winner in horse racing history when he secured a 300-1 victory at Leopardstown last Thursday. The previous biggest winning starting price was 250-1 by Equinotical at Kelso in 1990. He Knows No Fear was making only his second start after finishing 12th out of 14 runners at 250-1 in Limerick last month in his first race. So I think there's something going off there, don't you?
Yeah.
Win at that price.
On the happy pills.
Now, big spending Phoenix Thoroughbreds has announced it is to quit racing in the United Kingdom, where it has run 41 horses in 170 races over the past 3 years. The Dubai-based company has denied allegations of money laundering, as reported by the Racing Post. I think them pulling out tells you something, doesn't it? Now, Formula One. All the leading Formula One drivers said they felt very comfortable racing in Spain last weekend, even though the coronavirus in Barcelona and the Catalonia region was very rife. Now, Lewis Hamilton dominated the Spanish Grand Prix to take his 4th victory in 6 races so far this year. The Mercedes driver led every single lap from his 92nd pole position and was simply too fast for Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who was unable to challenge. Hamilton, finishing 23 seconds ahead of Verstappen in 2nd place, extended his World Championship lead to 37 points over his nearest rival. It was Hamilton's 88th victory and is now only 3 behind Michael Schumacher, who holds the record 91 GP wins. He also set a record for the most podiums of 156, having drawn level with Schumacher at Silverstone earlier this month.
Yeah.
Hamilton said after the race his success was down to tyre management, because as you recall, they were having trouble, weren't they?
Yeah, John.
I just wondered how many races there were this season. Have they curtailed it? Have they shortened it because of the COVID?
yeah, quite a lot.
Cancelled quite a few.
There's none in the West. Mexico, Canada, USA, they've all gone.
Yeah.
So I think there's only going to be about half the number of races.
Okay.
I just wonder how far he'd got to go before he'd actually won. You know, how many more races?
He'll do it in the next few weeks, I think. Now we're nip on to athletics. Now Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei produced an astonishing run in Monaco to break the 16-year-old 5,000 metres world record by almost 2 seconds. The 23-year-old, who won the 10,000 metre world title in Doha last year, was guided by trackside lights illustrating world record pace, and he came home in 12 minutes 35.36 seconds to beat the previous best time set by Ethiopian great Kenenisa Bekele. Did anybody watch that race?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So another way of having a
There were some great races, and I don't know if you noticed. Apparently, the track was absolutely brand new. It had never been run on before. So whether that helped, yes, Brian?
I thought that if they had any pacemakers, that it wasn't officially recognised as a record. Is that not the case anymore?
Not the case anymore, I don't think, because
He didn't have pacemakers. He had lights at the side of the track telling him whether he was running fast enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'd call that a
specific
pacemaker, personally.
I agree with you, Brian.
Well, I think.
Yeah, it's not on.
Except presumably the lights were behind him if he was ahead of it.
Yeah.
But he knew as long as he kept in front of the lights, he was on world record breaking pace.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I think he also had some pacemakers at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of pacemakers.
And he were on roller skates.
Yeah.
I think I'd need a pacemaker to do that, but not the ones he's thinking of.
Don't need them.
Right, go on then. Well,
Right, okay then. Now, the 2020 Paris Marathon, which was rescheduled for 15th of November, has now been cancelled again after first being cancelled on the 5th of April because of the coronavirus. Organisers had tried everything to maintain the event, but felt obliged to call it off because of the difficulties faced by runners. So you can stop practicing now, Paul.
Well,
Have you ever done the Paris one, Paul?
I have done the Paris one, yeah. It's not one of my favourites, I have to say, but it's a decent race. But the one in Nice, I understand, is still on. I've certainly had quite a few emails about it recently, and it's a consideration. That's in November as well, but they've had a bit of a spike there just last couple of weeks, haven't they? So I don't know.
Yep.
is it a Nice one?
Thank you, John. So,
Don't confuse me with Keith, for God's sake.
I know, sorry. I was completely thrown by it.
Okay then. Nip on to snooker. Now, there were two incredible semi-finals at the Crucible, both of which went to a final frame decider. In the first, England's world number 8 Kyren Wilson beat Scottish qualifier Anthony McGill with a remarkable score of 103 to 83 after 62 minutes in the decider. McGill conceded 35 points after missing a snooker 8 times. In the other semi-final, Ronnie O'Sullivan, needing to win the last 3 frames against Mark Selby, won the first 2 in great style and a nervy decider to reach his 7th final at the Crucible. It was also the first time he's ever beaten Selby at the Crucible. Now, the final itself was a bit of an anticlimax, as O'Sullivan easily beat Kyren Wilson with a runaway final score 18 to 8. Going into the last session on Sunday evening, only needing 1 frame for the title, O'Sullivan took the first frame with a 96 break to win his 6th world crown. Now, a few stats before you want to have a chat, if you like, about it. He won 8 frames in succession, going from 10-8 up to 18-8 to win it. He drew level with Ray Reardon and Steve Davis on 6 crowns. Only Stephen Henry has more with 7. He has won a record 37 ranking titles. At 44, he is the oldest champion since 45-year-old Ray Reardon in 1978. It's the biggest winning margin since 2008, when O'Sullivan beat Ali Carter by the same score. He's the only player to have been world champion in 3 separate decades. And he won his first crown in 1993 at just 17 years old. Any comments on the snooker?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone saw the interview with Mark Selby after the semi-final, but he wasn't a happy bunny, and he said something about Ronnie O'Sullivan smacking the ball, and he didn't think it was very fair.
Disrespect.
Something disrespectful. That's it. Yeah. I didn't actually see that bit, so does anybody know what he was on about?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's yes.
Yes, Paul. Go on.
Go on, Brian.
What I saw was that Selby was planting some pretty good snookers. And when Ronnie O'Sullivan went for them, he went for them. And they used the phrase on the commentary, "Hit and hope." And that's what he did on quite a few of them. But when they said he hit the ball, he hit the ball. And it was going round the table like a rocket, rather than the sort of gentle, what you might call educated attempt at just kissing up to a ball. He just let fly, and on most of what I saw, he actually hit the ball, but the whole lot was scattered, and sometimes it worked for him and sometimes it didn't. But obviously, he took exception to that. But within the rules, I mean, it's the way I play when I play snooker.
Yeah,
He seemed to get a face on, didn't he, towards the end?
Oh,
Yeah.
For the last 3 frames. That's why you're smashing it anyway. Seemed to get very down in dumps.
Paul, did you
Right.
have anything to add to that, Big Paul?
No, just I was going to give the same explanation as Brian had eloquently put it. That's the reason. Because when he was in snookers, O'Sullivan was smashing ball everywhere, not thinking about, not considering it, just getting down, smashing into reds, into pack,
Right.
and scattering things everywhere, and that's where the disrespectful aspect came into it.
Right. Okay.
He's also belittled
Dave
younger ones, haven't
Redfern.
he? Younger players, saying there's no younger players coming up. How we can say
Yes.
that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dave
Dave
Redfern.
I think what upset him were referee had to replace the ball because he missed the shot and he had to replace it, and he didn't replace it in the right place.
Right.
You know, when they
Yeah.
miss a shot, they have to take it again, don't they? If the opponent wants them to.
Yeah.
I think it upset him, and then he just slammed the ball.
Right.
Is that type of lad?
Yeah.
Really is.
Anyway, just before we move on, I'd like to know, have you brought a note, Ian?
Sick note?
Sick note.
No, the printer wouldn't work. No, would you believe it? A neighbour who put a sad note on it has lost his son, and so they're arranging the funeral. And he was printing the order of service, and he had problems with the computer, so I've had to loan him a computer and set it up for him. That's why I'm late, sir. So
Okay.
it was with good
You're forgiven.
reason in mind.
Yeah. Yes, Paul the Biscuit.
Just going back to the snow, was everything okay with the people who were allowed to go in and watch? How did that work?
I think it worked quite well.
Yeah.
Right, it
It
was
was-
okay. Was it?
I think
There was more
They
in
went
than what I
into the
was.
final, didn't they?
Yeah, they let,
The last 2 days were allowed in.
didn't they let 300 people in, which is about a third of
Yeah,
them,
to each session.
Yeah.
300.
which
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
they let as many in.
About every third seat.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, but they'd be,
Or in groups if they came in a bubble.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the Masters tournament starts, is it a couple of days' time? Might be tomorrow. The veterans. A few of us went to see the first round last
Yeah.
year. I don't know if they're allowing spectators in to see that.
no, I don't know.
Might help them get the crowds in for football then later on in the year.
Yeah. Well, I think we can manage 300 just.
What?
Will
You
there be that
mean-
many want to go?
It seems-
I know that was a bit of a joke, Paul, about will that many want to go, but it's interesting how many people will want to go when it's reopened again. I think it'll affect the number of people wanting to go.
Yeah, there will be some who won't feel
There'll
comfortable.
be a
yeah.
few that won't, but vast majority of football fans will want to go. I know they will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Right.
hope all Wednesday defenders turn up.
Ian,
I just want to say that there are clearly more people there than when we went, Keith, when you disrupted the whole proceedings. Do you remember?
yeah.
Me?
Yeah, by giving a running commentary of each shot.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
There were only 6 there.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was almost a riot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Louder than the official commentary.
Absolutely. Jim John Fargo around the back going, who the hell is that making all that?
Well,
That's our boy.
Any chanting?
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Keith doesn't do chanting, except when they score a goal. That doesn't happen at snooker.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of me. Carry on, Lol.
Okay, well, we'll nip on to cricket now.
Yeah.
Now, last week, in beating Sussex by an innings and 25 runs, Kent amassed a massive first innings score of 530 for 1, which is the 4th highest single wicket score in global history. After losing the first wicket at 107, teenager Jordan Cox made 238 not out, which was 47 fours and 3 sixes. And ex-Yorkshire batsman Jack Leaning, he got 220 not out, 29 fours. And they put on an unbeaten 423 in 95 overs before the innings closed on the regulation 120 overs allowed in the Bob Willis Trophy rules. Leaning, who was dropped on 19, easily beat his previous highest score of 123, which he made for Yorkshire against Somerset at Taunton in 2014. After the win, Cox broke protocol rules by posing for a photograph with young fans and has now got to self-isolate and miss the game against Middlesex. Now, a question to you. Does anybody know what is the highest single wicket score in cricket history?
Nope.
And who by? No. Well, only
500 and
Hanif Mohammed and
556.
You're nearly there.
Is it
Add another
556?
Add another 5.
561.
561 by what? For what?
561.
Yeah, by Karachi Whites in the Patrons Trophy game against Quetta at Karachi Stadium in 1977.
Well done, Ron.
Fun?
I said, well done, Ron. You know, you must have gone out for a pee when they scored the last few runs.
That was the game where they beat the Holmes and Sutcliffe 555 as the highest first wicket stand.
Right.
Well done.
Carry on.
good knowledge, Ron.
Now a series
Sorry?
of one. Oh, you're saying something wrong?
Sorry, go on, Lowell.
Okay.
No, it's all right. Go on, Lowell.
Now a series of one-day games against Australia, originally planned for this July, have now been rescheduled to be played in September. There will be 3 T20 games at the Ageas Bowl, followed by 3 ODI games at Old Trafford, all in a biosecure bubble. Now, according to Michael Vaughan, the former England captain, the pink ball could be used in all Test cricket to avoid play being lost to bad light. Because they really went mad about it on this one in Southampton, didn't they, this week? Now, Indian legend and World Cup winning captain.
Lol, hang on a second.
Yes.
Any thoughts on this pink ball business by our cricket aficionados? Keith?
It's got to be hardened, according to Shane Warne. It's not hard enough.
No, I think it also behaves differently.
Yeah, it swings a lot more.
I'm sure Chris will agree.
Keith, any thoughts?
I've been to a game with the pink ball in daylight. You can't see it. as a spectator, it's almost impossible to track. It's a very, very poor game to watch, and you can't fiddle around with the ball. I mean, you know, the ball is the ball, has been for history. You invalidate a lot of what's gone in the past if you start reinventing what ball you play with. It's knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, not cricket.
Maybe you could perhaps look at better floodlights, but that's a different matter.
Yeah.
You behaved differently when you wore your pink shirt, didn't you, Keith? A couple of weeks ago.
Unfortunately, we could still see him.
Thanks, chaps. I mean, I don't understand that. Why would it be softer? Surely it's just a different colour dye on the same leather.
It was a comment made by Shane Warne. I hope I'm not stealing Lol's thunder here, but with all this rain affected play, there've been some really interesting interviews. There's a fabulous one that I hope Lol comes on to between Atherton, Nasser Hussain and Shane Warne with Holding in the background, talking about captaincy and leadership. Absolutely, it was only supposed to go on for 5 minutes, but it overrun because of the rain for 40 minutes, and they've replayed it a couple of times. But during the latter stages, they were starting to talk about this pink ball and all the rest of it. And the other thing that they talked about, sorry for hogging it, Lol, but these matches being played at Old Trafford and Southampton are hammering the pitches because they've got to create new tracks for all these one-day internationals and what have you. And there's a bigger run on the pitches because of these back-to-back matches than they normally have. And if it's not killing the pitches, it's certainly killing the ground stuff, which is why they're being criticised, being very slow, because they're half asleep, some of them. Because of all the work they've had to do.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Right. Okay, Lol.
Just one more item on cricket before we leave it. Now, Indian legend and World Cup winning captain MS Dhoni has announced his retirement last weekend. 39-year-old Dhoni led India to the 2007 World 2020 title, the 2011 World Cup, and the 2013 Champions Trophy. He played in 350 ODIs, 90 tests, and 98 T20 games in a tremendous career. Anybody watch Dhoni in the flesh at all? Did you see him, Ron?
Not in the flesh, no.
I saw him in the whites.
No, not in the flesh. I've seen him on TV. Wonderful batsman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought
Got his autograph once.
you were going on with football, Keith.
Yeah.
Shall I finish off with football? When we restart?
Yes, please.
And somebody put a question or two in now.
Finish off now, please.
How long have I got? Because I've got quite a lot on football.
3 minutes.
Oof.
Edit.
Okay. Right. Now, Barcelona.
And does the football after the restart?
No, they won't have time.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put Lol under pressure.
Football after the restart.
Give us a few questions. Someone ask a few questions. Quick quiz.
Get on with it.
We've got one.
For what prize did the first Olympians compete?
Sorry, what was that, John? Mr.
For what prize did the first Olympians compete?
A wreath.
Laurel wreath. Yeah. A wreath of, not laurel.
Laurel.
Not laurel. Olive. I love you, Olive. Olive leaf. What name is given to the implement with which croquet players hit the ball?
Mallet.
Mallet. Yeah, mallet. In 1979, fans at a Chicago White Sox baseball game rioted after what happened in the interval between two games.
Ran out of hot dogs.
A pile of disco records was blown up, and they rioted.
Slip disc.
Who, who does Cricket Magazine Wisden rank as the greatest Test batsman of all time?
Well, if it's not Don Bradman, they must need the heads examining.
They don't need the heads
Don
examining.
Bradman.
It is Don Bradman. Yeah.
Tom Bradman, obviously.
Yeah, it is Don Bradman.
Yeah.
Which famous boxer was killed when his plane crashed en route to a surprise birthday gathering?
Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano. You're right.
Wow.
Who was the first player to win European Footballer of the Year 3 times?
3 times.
Cruyff debut.
No,
Messi.
no,
Ronaldo.
Di Stefano.
no. I'll give you a clue. He's French.
Platini.
Platini.
No.
Yeah,
Platini.
You're
Platini.
throwing your voice again, John.
Yeah, yeah. It's when I go soprano.
Yeah.
In 1968, who became the first swimmer to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympic Games at the age of just 16?
Leeds Spitz.
No.
Don
You don't know if it's
Fraser.
a male or a female, judging by this name.
Is it Shane Gould?
Davide Meyer.
All right.
Yeah.
He's German.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hang on, John. We're down to less than a minute. So let's wrap this one up and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.